Hello, welcome to the Getting to Know Your Sewing Machine Challenge. My name is Ann Potter and I'm going to be teaching this class about how to basically get started with your sewing machine if it's a new to you or a brand new machine, whatever the case may be. And so hopefully you've had a moment to look around in the kind of the course or the challenge portal where you can find the handouts. There are just a few pages of printed handouts or things to help you along. And then each day there will be a new video posted in for that day, Monday, Tuesday, and then Thursday, Friday. Wednesday will be a live session for anybody who's having any challenges with their machine. We will do a live Zoom on Wednesday. And so anyway, welcome. And today I'm going to just get you started. And actually, if you went to the section in the portal for the handouts, you would also have seen the story about how last weekend I won a sewing machine. So this was really exciting. And so it's kind of fun because I'm actually going to be learning my new machine right along with you. Because I literally have never taken it out of the box. Here, let me show you. I'm gonna flip my camera. Can I flip my camera around? Hang on. There you go. That's my brand new sewing machine. It's still in the box, so I'm gonna be unboxing that. But I'm also gonna be showing you with my own long tried and true machine that I've used for years. This is my Viking Rose. And this is a Juki. This is a pretty basic model of the Juki machine. Okay, so a couple of the first things that I wanted to mention is that a sewing machine, there are many, many different brands, and even within the different brands of sewing machines, there's lots of different models. So even like my main machine that I use all the time is a Viking, but there's many different Viking machines, and they all have a different way that they're threaded, and some of them have even different ways that the bobbin is wound or that the bobbin is inserted into the machine. And don't worry about all these words, you'll learn about all of this. But my point is that there are so many different machines and different ways that they are threaded and put together, but the main function of what they do, which is to make a needle go up and down into fabric and then catch the thread, the bobbin thread on the bottom, and sew a seam of stitches along, is exactly the same regardless of what brand it is or what model it is. So it's sort of like, in a way, like a lawnmower. I mean, the lawnmower, it doesn't matter what model or brand name you buy, the essence of what you're doing is the same. It's a big, huge blade that's whirling around cutting your grass, right? So the sewing machine is the same thing. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is that, and I don't have any like statistics, scientific experiments to go along with this information, but I'm just going to estimate that sewists, seamstresses, probably on average use about 20% of the actual functionality of their machine. So I just want you to realize that even sewers who have been sewing for years and years and years do not use all of the functionality of their machines. So you may be looking at your machine and going like, I don't know what all this is, all these different knobs and buttons and numbers and and a manual full of information. I just want you to know that you really only need to know how to thread your machine and how to sew a straight stitch. So it's not like you need to learn the whole thing all at once. I also like to really think of my sewing machine as a tool in my household. It's just like having a hammer or a screwdriver. Having a sewing machine in your household is a great thing. So you can mend things, you can fix things, you can sew home decor things. You can quilt and do crafts, you can sew garments, you can fix garments, you can change the length of hems on things or help other people with their problems with their garments, So it is, I hope that you'll start to think of it as a tool in your house and not just as a thing in a box in a closet somewhere, right? So it's such a useful tool, and it's really, I'm hoping in this class just to build your confidence in using your own sewing machine, okay? So today, the main thing that you are going to want to do today is actually get your machine out from wherever it is hiding. If it is in the garage or in your basement, or it's in a closet, or it's in the attic, or it's, wherever it is, it's in a box, get it out. And find a surface that you can use during this week for our challenge, just a place that you can set it, either a kitchen table, or if you have another kind of a table, and a chair that you can sit in. So what a simple assignment it is for today. It's just to get the machine out. Get it out of the box, out of the case, plug it in, make sure that you have power to your machine. Make sure that you have all the parts. So you should have, at a minimum, you need a power cord. I'm assuming everybody has an electric machine. Hopefully nobody's using a treadle machine. Although if you are, I'm happy to help you try to do that. But anyway, so a power cord, and you need your foot pedal. That's this thing that goes on the floor underneath the machine. Some machines have some other ways of, there are machines that have like manual settings that can control the machine if you don't have a foot pedal, but and so you'll need that. You'll need to, if you have a machine that's new and you do have your manual, find it. And that's a very good thing to have handy, is the actual manual. If you don't worry about that, because the internet is such that now you can find pretty much any manual for any piece of machinery out there, right? So you can find the manual for your sewing machine most likely on the internet. And you wouldn't even necessarily have to print it out. Just make sure to, find a page where it is and mark that page, like bookmark it or something, so that you can get back to it whenever you want. Your manual, let's see, what else will you need? You're going to need a spool of thread. Right now, it doesn't really matter what color it is, but find a spool of thread. You will also need bobbins, a bobbin, and I'm gonna get my bobbin out here. I'm gonna actually just turn this around. I'm gonna get my bobbin out of my machine. And there it is right there. That is what a bobbin looks like. Now, every machine can have different bobbins. So I am already fully expecting that my brand new machine that's in this box right next to me is going to take a different bobbin. So you do need to make sure that the bobbin that you have goes with your machine. And I suspect as well, if you have a brand new machine, like I now have this brand new machine, I am probably going to need to buy some extra bobbins, because it probably only comes with 2 or 3. So I'm actually going to pause the video for a minute, and I'm going to unbox my machine. So I'm going to ask you to also pause the video and go find your machine and get it out and find your manual and that kind of thing, and then come back and turn the video back on. Okay, I have just pulled my new machine out of the box, and aside from the styrofoam that was in there, there's a manual that came with it. There's the foot pedal there that I can take out of the plastic. And there's the power cord. And then there's the machine inside the case. So I'm going to just pull the case off. And there is the machine. Now this is, I literally have not done anything with this yet, although I did open it up and I found the little plastic bag that had all the little pieces parts. So you can see here there are, well, right now I can tell there are 3 bobbins in here. There's a bobbin right there. And I don't know, there might be a bobbin inside the machine. No, it does not look like there's a bobbin in there. I'm gonna open it up. Nope, it's empty. Here, let me get a light on it. So there's nothing in there. Okay, so 3 bobbins I know is not going to be enough. I will want to buy some extra bobbins. That's not a very expensive little thing to purchase. Okay, so that is basically, oh, it also did come with, let me see. Oh, here it is. Right down here, there's a little DVD. But the other thing that you can look for your machine, and this would be especially true if this is not a new to you machine and perhaps you don't have the manual at all. If you do not have the manual, something great that you can find for almost any machine is YouTube videos describing all kinds of things about your machine. So what you're going to need to know is the brand name. So like this one is a Juki, or this one, mine is a Viking, which is also a Husqvarna. They merged. So this one, the name of it is Rose. And on this one, it doesn't have a name, but it has the model number right on there. My friend said, you need to call her Hazel. So this is Hazel. Hello, Hazel. I have never used you before. So anyway, I can go on YouTube and find for Juki this model, or if it had a name, and find your videos for whatever you need to know how to do. But that is actually what we're going to do tomorrow. We're going to thread the machine and wind a bobbin and put the bobbin in place. So we will do those 2 things tomorrow. And so if you wanted to look ahead and try that yourself, go find a video. You can do that if you're anxious to get going. Otherwise, that's what we're going to be working on tomorrow, is actually putting the thread in the machine. And the other thing that you will need for tomorrow is some fabric to do some practice sewing on. Okay, so in the handouts, I have included a page with some stitching lines for practice. And so that's one thing we're going to do, is practice stitching on those lines. But then I do also want you to practice on some actual fabric. So you can either use, if you have some fabric around the house that's left over from a project or a craft that you did, or an old tablecloth or old curtains that you have, or another great place to find just practice material is in your discard pile, let's call it, you know, that bag, plastic bag of things that are getting ready to go to a donation site, right? Something that you're planning on donating anyway turns into a great thing to practice sewing on. So I just want you to look for something that you can practice with. The only thing I would say is let's not have it be anything real slippery material. So like this blouse is this is not silk, it's polyester, but it's a real slippery fabric. So I want you to find something that's not so slippery. It doesn't matter if it's a knit or a woven. And if you don't know what I mean by the difference between a knit and a woven, don't worry about that either. We will talk about that tomorrow, but just find something that is an old item that you don't care about anymore, and that will become your sewing practice piece of fabric, okay? So that is all that, and thread, and like I said, the make and model of your machine. Make sure that you have all of the pieces and parts to plug your machine into power, and you have your foot pedal and all of that kind of stuff. I think I already said a spool of thread. So get all of those things gathered together for tomorrow, and that is all there is for it today. It's just basically getting your sewing machine out of the box and onto a table so that we can get started with it tomorrow. Okay, that's it. Bye.